All right, good morning, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. So today is Tuesday, May 20th. I took this trade. It was based off of an EMA rejection right here. The 10-point entry unfortunately hit stop loss, so I took it on the 10-point account, and then I took it, the one I marked up for you guys here. This is the one I took on my live account. So the 10-point account, I think I took there. I got stopped out. I waited for the 5-second confirmation, and then I entered there. Um, and give me one moment. I'm still adjusting. Let me think something through here. Okay. So the EMA entry was based off of here, right? So you can see if I go ahead and replay this and I turn on the zones as well and I turn on the markups. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't have taken that trade, but it's fine. I always forget to turn on the markups. So here you can see price had closed below this EMAs, below the 15-minute EMA. We did have a bearish order block, I think. Yeah, we did have a bearish one, but also we had this hourly bullish high. So sometimes I normally forget to look at the markups. Traditionally, I don't have the markups on my screen because I don't want like a lot of lines on my screen, but I took a loss, yeah, on the 10-point account, and then I took a win on the 5-second entry account. So kind of like at break even so far for both trades. But yeah, so this one I shouldn't have taken it because here we do the zones, it's in a supply zone. We did have price closing below the 15-minute EMA. So what I did, I traded the retest of the 15-minute EMA. So my entry was at like 777. And at 777, that's when I ended up getting stopped out here. 777. Price literally just hit my stop loss and then came back down. But anyway, I think I was just trying to multitask a lot, but that's not a trade I should have taken. So as much as I want that trade, you really don't want to keep, or you really don't want to break your confluences. So I did create the pre-market high and low indicator. And you can see here we have, so yesterday's pre-market high. So and we are about to get to the pre-market low right here. And this would be a good buy. So here I'll just I think I have my alerts set up, but the pre-market buy would be at 665. 42,665 if you're entering on the if you're entering on the uh if you're entering on the 10 point, so 665 there. So that would be the so I did say this week is when I'm starting to take the pre-market high and lows rejection scalps. Last week they had a good win rate. I think last week you'd have made, excuse me, last week you'd have made 5%. Last week we only had one loss. I think the loss was only on Thursday or Friday for the pre-market high. And Friday is expected for some crazy price movements. But I will be taking this pre-market low rejection scalp because you can see we turn on the zones. It's in a demand zone. We don't have any opposing order blocks within any direction. I did make a little for those that I shared the pre-market high and low indicator. I shared it with you guys on Friday. I've had to make a few variations to it, but this is the new variation. I just kind of want all my indicators to have this outlook so that it kind of shows you the level on the live candle, right? Because before it was showing the levels. I don't know if it's this screen. Nope, maybe it's not. Yeah. Before it was showing the levels a bit different. But so if we kind of, and I think I've put an alert, I should have an alert already. I do have built-in alerts too for this indicator. So you can put in your alerts when price and give me, okay. I think I need to make a switch here. I may need to make another edit here because anyway, it does read today's pre-market low. I need to make another switch so that this can read Tuesdays. It's just a minimal switch that I did this morning, but I think I'll still make another last switch on this particular one. But you can see here, yesterday's pre-market entry would have hit stop loss. So yesterday would have had a loss for the week because you can see price broke above the pre-market. And this was actually, unfortunately, or fortunately, I didn't catch it, but this would have ended up as a loss because here we did have a supply zone. We did have a order block, a bearish order block, but this pre-market high for yesterday would have ended up in a loss. So this week, yesterday's rejection scalp for the pre-market high and low would have ended up uh, as a loss. But let's see how this particular one for today ends up. Um, we do have actually, and here for US 30 as well. Damn, I don't know if we missed this. There is a SAR rejection scalp 707. Yes, 707, that's 7, that's 98. Oh wow, there's a trade going on for US 30. Yeah, that trade already. I think it hit TP. I don't know how I'm missing this trades. That trade already hit TP. All good. So this is the trade for US 30. Yep. So the 10 point hit TP, it's based off of this 30-minute SAR. This is what happens sometimes when you start trading a little bit too many strategies. But yeah, this 30-minute rejection scalp, SCR rejection scalp hit TP for the 10 point. For the 20 point, let's see for the 20 point. The 20 point, actually, the 20 point, this can be a late entry for the 20 point. I'm sorry, for the 5 second. So the 5 second would have hit stop loss. So would have been one win and one loss. So yeah. So we'll just wait for this pre-market rejection scalp that's right here. We also have a 4-hour EMA. So the 4-hour EMA one has not been retested on US 30. So we also have a 4-hour EMA. So right now, this 4-hour EMA entry kind of lines up with the pre-market low. So this is a nice buy for US 30. So as much as we miss, there was a buy exactly here at 697 that would have gone to full TP for a 1:2. Um, but the 5 second entry would have ended up as a losing trade. So here, let's wait for this particular trade right here. So you have two options. You can either take the pre-market low. You can either take the pre-market low entry, or you can either take the 4-hour EMA rejection entry. So you have a choice. So let's see. So the most efficient one, optimal one, is the 4-hour rejection entry at 648. So 648. So this right here, this is the pre-market 10-point entry, right? So this is the one you enter on impulse, but you go for a 1:2. For me, I'll take both of them. I'm already up for the 5 second entry. I'm down for the 10-point entry one trade. If I win this trade, I go back to break even, and actually I go back up in profit. So 659. So 649 will be the entry for the 4-hour EMA. Let's see. Okay. So you have two trades to take here. The most optimal trade is the one at the bottom, of course, right? Since we're looking to buy, the most optimal trade is the one at the bottom. So these trades are going to, I hope they both, well, they wouldn't validate. The only way they would validate at the same time is if they validate on the 5 second, right? Because on the 5 second change of structure, we normally wait for price to change structure on the 5 second time frame. But if you're entering on impulse, it is possible you get stopped out of one, or you even get stopped out of both. So we'll see which comes first. And it's what time is it? 9:45. So let's see. I know we don't have any EMA entry. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. I'm curious as to something here. Give me one moment. I thought I made this indicator change yesterday. Should read. Okay. No, there should be an update on this indicator. Yes, exit. Give me one moment here. Pre-market highs and lows. There should be. Huh. Okay, I'll take care of this later. Okay, so today's pre-market low has been tested. Wait for the 10-point entry. Okay, there is the entry, and there is the entry for that one. Again, don't take both trades if you cannot handle the risk. So one entry is there, which I did say might get stopped out. The second entry is there. So two entries right there. So one entry was at, okay, so the first one is stopped out, the 10-point one. The second one is running. That's the, remember there's the 4-hour EMA. And then now for the official entry, we need to wait for the 5-second, right? So the EMA, so again, this happens so fast. So here, I'll change this comment here and I'll go to, I'll trade the EMA. So 5-second, right? We want that crossover buy. All right, I think it's gonna be on this candle. It has to be. Yep. So there's the entry for 1:2. So this is the official trade. So 20 points stop loss, 20 points TP. Okay. So let's see how this goes. I'm still in one trade. So the pre-market low entry got stopped out. The 4-hour EMA is still going. And also this 5-second entry validates the pre-market entry and the 4-hour EMA, right? Because we waited for a change of structure. But if you entered on the 10-point, you got stopped out like I did. You got stopped out on the pre-market low entry, but on the EMA entry, you're in profit, right? Because the EMA entry, I'm actually entered like somewhere here. So this is where my 10-point EMA entry is. So I'm still in one trade right here, right? So if I win this trade, actually this 10-point entry, because it's a 1:2, remember I took two losses so far, right? I took one loss in the beginning of the session, and then I took the second loss on the, what is it called? On the pre-market low 10-point entry. So if I win this trade, I'll go back to break even for the day on that account. So this, I have these two trades running. The only one that's going to count is this 5-second entry, because up to next month, I'll still be using the 5-second confirmation as the official trades. I think going forward, I'll just split my accounts into two, have accounts that take, even that right now, that's what I did this morning. I transitioned some of my accounts to enter on the 10-point, and then I left some other accounts to enter on the 5-second. So ideally I just kind of manage my risk that way across different accounts. So we'll see how both of this go. Now, if I end up losing this trade for for my 5 second account, 5 second change of structure account, remember I'm currently down 2%. So if I lose this trade, I'm done for the day trading on the 10 point, right? And again, it comes back to what I'd mentioned here, right? For this trades, remember these two setups, right? These are the setups we had before. If it's better for you to go with the most optimal trade, the most optimal trade was the 4 hour trade, right? That was the most optimal trade because it gave a better entry. But sometimes price won't get to the most optimal trade. Sometimes price reverse from will just reverse from the least optimal trade. So sometimes that's why I normally tell you guys, you can just divvy up your risk. If you have an area where you have a lot of entries that I've lined up, maybe either for me, I take every entry just for and even to record statistics. But either divvy up your risk so that you divide your risk into two or into three, or just wait for the most optimal entry. That is the safer thing to do. But if you know what you're doing, and if you're not struggling with like revenge trading, you should be fine. And there you go, full TP for that one, for the 1:2, and actually full TP for the other. For the other trade, it's still running for me. I think I had some slippage. Currently at 3K, 35-ish, 37. So it should be able to spike. Yeah, there 5K, right? See, this is the beauty about a trailing stop. I just made like 5K on that. So I had lost 4,000. So now I'm up with both accounts. Perfect, perfect. This just happened so freaking fast. Okay. So let me think this through. So the entry for this trade, it wasn't at the 10 point, it was at the 42,665. So that trade validated the 4 hour EMA, it validated the pre-market low, right? So let's go to our pre-market low indicator. You see that? So the pre-market low, if you took the 10 point manipulation move, you would have lost, right? But if you waited to enter on the 5 second, which also validated the 5 second change of structure for the 4 hour EMA, you would have won that trade, which is what we just did right now. So, which is this trade, right? So you see how this 10 points, so this was the most efficient or optimal 10-point entry based off of the EMA, 4 hour EMA. The 10-point entry for the pre-market low was here. It's just because we had kind of another level down there for price to go to. So maybe in future for you guys, you can wait for the optimal one. But if you're doing like a 1:2 risk to reward like me, you should be good. It's very rare that I normally lose like 3 trades in a row. I'm pretty sure someday that's gonna happen. But you can see here, just with a little bit of patience, you end up getting in good. So anyway, let me take a picture of this for my journal. 3754. Huh. I wonder if I copied. I think I copied. This is why I don't like having too many accounts. It's it's a bother sometimes. I don't even know which account copied to what. Okay, let me think this through. Give me a second. So okay. So this one is the 4 hour EMA. So I'll give it to the EMA rejection. The EMA rejection scalps have actually been very, very lit. 42,665. So the entry was somewhere here. Okay. And this one was ideally just as much as one of my accounts hit 1:2, just for the official entries. The official entries were just counting 1:1 risk to rewards. Give me here, and that should be it. Control S. Okay. Would have been a good day on my 10-point account if so I lost 2 trades, won one, and I'm up 1,300. I shouldn't have lost that first trade. Just got slipped up by price. That's fine. So we'll just wait for the next entries and we'll see how that goes. But that was a very You see, this is why I love the 10-point trades. You get such an amazing, amazing entry right there. And you can see here, we already took that. So this is the key thing about the pre-market lows, right? So I think if we did have that 4-hour EMA for price to also come and test before that, I think we would have won both trades. But anyway, it is what it is. But this is ideally, right, one of the reasons that I created that, or, just an observation of why it's important to have those pre-market highs and pre-market lows. So here, and I think we're almost, oh, I don't know why I was thinking we're in April, but anyway, so here we had, I won't count the first win because I hadn't started talking on the live session. So but if you guys did follow it, like you should be up 3%. No, you should be up 1.5% for the day. But I'll only count this one that we just took all together. But if you followed the one that I had marked up in the beginning of the live session before I turned on my mic, you would have been up 1.5% for the day. Um, so let's just see what other entry we get here. And same thing with this EMAs, right? Watch out for the high time frame EMAs. Anything hourly and above, watch out for those EMAs because wait, I think there's a 30-minute. Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. Okay, no, all good. Just thinking of something else. Mm. Yeah, watch out for the high time frame. So 1 hour and above, those EMAs really, really hold price. 36. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so let's see what we have here. And yeah, sometimes especially trading three strategies like almost at the same time, it does get confusing at times. So, at the very least, like you can choose just to trade either SAR rejection or just EMA rejection or pre-market pre-market highs and lows rejection scalps because it does get a lot it can get confusing, especially if you are entering on multiple accounts. Like if you just have one account, then you should be fine. And also you also need to remember that you need to follow, right, those three confluences that we talk about. Markups, zones, and the rest. But anyway, so here, if we look at what we have, so same thing, right? Same thing I've been taking on the live session right here. So the first one is the one that I marked up for you guys on the screen, the one that I was typing. I hadn't started like talking on this live session. But anyway, that was the first sell that was based off of, I think it was based on 15 EMA, 15 EMA one rejection scalp. Number two was it's that trade that validated both pre-market and 4-hour EMA one rejection scalp, right? So this also, this account also kind of shows you that waiting for the 5 second, you won't lose out on much because you're waiting on that confirmation. So you can see here, it's two back-to-back wins. Wait, we have a 1 hour. I think, okay, so we also have another hourly EMA. This was a gold trade that I took yesterday. Anyway, forget about that. We have a 1 hour EMA retest. The only issue with this 1 hour EMA retest is that we have, let's see how far those bullish order blocks are. So don't forget to look up. Okay, so we are not going to take this, right? Because you can see if price comes back and retests the hourly EMA, yes, it would be a sell, and actually we do not have any We don't have any supply zones in there. We do have a supply zone on the hourly time frame. So sometimes you can actually, no, we don't. So never mind, we don't have an entry there. On the 30-minute time frame, nothing as well. So we are good on the EMAs. So we are not looking for any EMA entries right now because none meet our confluences. Anyway, so I was going over this. Yeah, so this is the official, right? Just my main account that I copied to a bunch of them. So that one is good, right? Now, look at the 10-point rejection entry. So I had said that if I had lost that third trade, I would have been down 6,000 for the day. And that's fine because if you look at last week, 2 days I made like 5K on that account, right? So 6,000 is not too big of a deal because it would just take out like one day's profit, etc. Because this other day here, I made like close to what is it? Yeah, close to 6K, right? But the issue, so this first one right here, I literally got hit by stop loss and price went back into profit, right? Because that's when I sold in the beginning of the live session. I sold at this high. Yeah, I sold at this high, but price literally took my stop loss and then went back down into profit. And then that's when I entered the 5-second entry right here, right? But anyway, it's a loss nonetheless. The second one is when I entered on impulse at the 10 point past the pre-market low, right? And the third one, you can see here, both of them were separated by about 10 points. And the third one is when I entered 10 points past the 4-hour EMA rejection. And then that's the trade that won. Since I have a trailing stop, my stop loss, I have like a 1:5 risk to reward, but my stop loss moves to a 1:2 once I reach a 1:2. So because of that big spike, instead of making 4K in profit, I made 1,400. So that's another good thing about using the trailing stop. It kind of, right, it kind of moves up for you. And you can see here, if hopefully I'd survived the first trade, I would be about another 4,000, I would be about 5,000 in profit here. So that's what I've noticed for this account. For the 10-point account, on a good day, I'm normally making between 5,000 to about 6,000 a day. But today I was pretty close to kind of finishing trading on this account because if I would have lost this trade, that would have been, so for me, I give myself 3% max daily drawdown for the day, which means I would have to lose 3 back-to-back trades. It hasn't happened yet. Hopefully it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure one day it's probably going to happen. But at that point, you just wait until the next day. So for this particular one, I'm back in profit for this account and I can keep trading it since I'm up in profit. I can also trade the afternoon session. So let's see if we get any other entry here. And some of these trades, right, you can always use your own judgment whether to hold for long or not, right? Because it depends. So normally I tell you guys, if you see the 15-minute SAR rejection come like literally after market open, normally price reverses to the other direction. What's the other indicator of how you should hold a trade? Pre-market high, pre-market low, because pretty much when price gets to these areas, you normally expect price to move in the same distance, right? Because kind of the idea behind a pre-market high and low is that when market opened the previous day, right, at 6 p.m., and with this indicator, you can code your pre-market high and low times, whether it's London or whether it's whatever, you can do that, right? But the idea is that when price, before the market opened, price got to a certain low and then price made a certain high. And then the question is, why are they reversing from those points before New York opens? That is your answer to the trade. So the question is, or the idea is, same thing as other blocks. The idea is that if price gets back to those levels, there's a high probability that it will do what it did pre-market. So that's the basic essence of the pre-market highs and lows. And let's see what else. So we said we're not taking that hourly. So you can see the hourly EMA. So there's no need to take this hourly. You can see we have this hourly bullish order block. If we did not have this hourly bullish order block, the sell would have been right here. Actually, it hasn't reached the sell. So the sell would have been at 57. But since we have a hourly order block right there, there's no need for us to do anything. There is a sell. Let's see. No, actually, there isn't. Um, yeah, we don't have. I thought we had a specific sell entry, but so far, no. So yeah, so the entry, like if we didn't have this, actually no, we didn't even have taken it because we don't have any I'm sorry, supply zone. So never mind. So right now, unless we push up, if we push up heavily and create another 15-minute buy SAR rejection area, then that would be a sell entry, probably for a reversal back down to the downside. But if we look at where price is doing, what's the other thing we normally talk about other than our rejection areas is wicks, right? So if we see a lot of wicks, so you can see US 30, and I always say this, right? Ask yourself what the wicks are telling you. The wicks here, this week rejected from the pre-market low, that's right here, which is where we traded. And we have a big wick from the downside, right? We also have big wicks from the upside here, but look at what we also have for US 30. We have a weekly bullish high order block, an hourly bullish high order block, and an hourly bullish low order block. And currently, we don't have any area of supply up until this zone. So if these wicks are anything to go by, US 30 will probably pump to the upside, probably. If we close back above here, we'll probably have like a pump to the upside. But if we do pump and have that 15-minute SAR rejection, then price will more than likely come back, reverse, and push back down to the downside. But for us, all we care about is to see a valid entry. We don't care what price does. If price wants to go up, wants to go down, it can do that. But all we care about is getting a validation for our entries. Yeah, and this one, that hourly would have been so nice, right? Because we would have. Man, I normally hate seeing like some setups just go away. So remember that 757. So it still works. Like you can still trade it, but the probabilities are low, right? So the entries are the same, but the probabilities like are low because you want to trade in the direction of your confluences. So you want to make sure all confluences line up, right? So, but this one would have been such a nice trade as well. That hourly, because you see that 10 point, remember? Our hourly EMA is at 747. The 10 point would have been 757. So the 10 point would have been literally right there, 757. And you can see this would have been another nice one, right? So whether it's the entry at the 10 point or whether it's this entry here at the 5-second confirmation, right, would have been a nice one. But sometimes the market is just going to tease you. Uh, just like that. I know I really don't trade gold anymore, but because you can still trade gold with the rejection scalps, but I don't know. I just found myself getting a lot of break evens with gold. But here we have, if this hourly candle in the next 50-minute closes below this 4-hour SAR rejection, this would be a potential sell for gold for, excuse me, like a $30 TP, $30 stop loss. However, if you look at gold, you can see what are we about to form here. So if you guys remember when we used to trade golden and death crosses, and you guys still have, or we still have that indicator, right? So when these EMAs cross each other, price is bound to shoot up. So we also have a golden cross forming on the hourly time frame. But anyway, nonetheless, this trade fits a this trade. We also might get a 15-minute sell SCR, but anyway, this trade fits a what am I looking at? It fits an SAR levels rejection entry. So if in the next 50 minutes or next hour price closes below 32.75, that would be an SAR levels rejection for gold. I haven't traded, honestly, nowadays I just trade the rejection scalps. But anyway, this would be a sell entry. But we are gaining some bullish momentum on gold. So, just use your. So this is like an A setup. I wish we had a bearish order block. And the other thing I noticed too, if if you're selling and you have a bearish order block past your TP, sometimes price will come, stop you out, tap into that order block, and come back all the way down, right? So the option for that is to double up your stop loss. So for this one, then it would mean needing like a $50 TP and stop loss if you're actually not even 50, maybe even 70. But anyway, that's too high for me for gold. But anyway, 30,000, I'm sorry, $30 is still good, but I've noticed in the past for this SAR levels rejection, if you have an order block above that area, another good way is just to wait for price at that order block. But that's up to you guys. We'll see how this closes. Hopefully, maybe I'll still be on the live session then. Excuse me, and we can follow that. Let's see. I didn't get a chance to set up all my copy accounts the way I want. Let me think this through. What do I want to do? I want to do US 30 chart window template load. Yeah. Huh. Huh. Template load. This is interesting. Template load. Let's see, it's 30. Open. Um, SAR, EMA. Missed positions. Uh, hmm. Um, CR. SCR. Okay. All right, so at this point, we just wait to see if we get any other trade. Uh, So all EMAs have been retested. I don't even see, unless we get a closure above. So definitely we won't get an hourly one because that will have already ended the live session. We already won with the 4-hour EMA. So you can see here with all these check marks, all these EMAs have been retested. The 30-minute, hourly, 15, 4-hour, the 15-minute EMA 2, all of that, right? So all those EMAs have been retested. So we're not going to get, unless we get a closure above the 15-minute or the 30-minute EMA. And even if we do, actually, if we do get that, we can take a buy because you can see we're in a demand zone currently. So if we do get a closure above, that's the only way. But currently for the EMAs entry, unless we get a closure above an EMA, a 15-minute or 30-minute, that would be the only solution to take, or that would be the only trade to take. For the SARs, I'm hopeful we can get especially right now, if we get a 15-minute SAR rejection, this would be so nice because you know why? Because of this wicks right here at the bottom. So this wicks show you like a lot of buying pressure. So if we do get a 15-minute, and we kind of had one a little bit before pre-market. So I'm not too sure we're going to get a 15-minute. We might get an hourly or maybe a 4-hour. But anyway, if we do get a 15, oh, I'm sorry, if we do get a SCR rejection, this would be a nice area to have it because we're in a demand zone. We have a lot of wicks from the bottom, but hopefully if we do get it, it's not like in this no man's land zone right here. So hopefully we get it either in this demand zone down here or ideally where price is at right now. Of course, for the pre-market high and low, already had a winner for that trade based off of the 5-second change of structure. You can see here the pre-market high, of course, hasn't been retested, and we have that X at the end of the label to signify that. We can see that since this one has already been retested, we have that check mark, right? So this indicators kind of do a bunch of filtering for you. So that's also good to have. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so tired today. Anyway, I'll hang around for maybe a couple more minutes, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I think I did go live on YouTube. I don't know, maybe. Um, but we'll just wait here to see if we get another entry. But yeah, last week and this week has been so good. The trades have been lining up nicely. We've been getting a bunch of trades, so which is good. All right. Give me one moment. Let's go ahead and update this journal. Since we have time here. So if we go back to this screen and update so this is my 10-point account, right? So we'll just go ahead. So you can see, and this was last week. So last week alone, 15,000 on this account. So what we'll do here is we'll just update with today's profits, save as report. What we'll do here is something like this. Yeah, so again, with this rejection scalps, I mentioned, so you can see for this account, last week I made what, 10, what is it, 5, 7%? I don't know. I'm terrible at math, but about 7%. So with the rejection scalp strategy, you should be able to make at least 5%, or even take, divvy up that by two, at least 2% or 2.5% in a week, um, which is pretty good. So the first one that I lost was it was an EMA rejection scalp, and it was a 15-minute EMA one. So that's the one there. The second one that I lost was a pre-market rejection scalp, and this is only for the 10 point. It's fine. 15 minutes. What we'll do here is add new. Pre-market. And the one that we want here is EMA rejection scalp. This was the 4-hour EMA. Uh, EMA one. Okay. Oh yeah. 42 629.09. Right, so nothing yet here. So again, if we keep doing so you can see still even 50, even with a 50% win rate, sometimes when you start going for a 1:2, the win rate kind of, I'm sorry, for multiple hours, sometimes the win rate kind of reduces compared to the 1:1 risk to reward that I have, where the win rate increases because I'm going for shorter distances. But you can see overall the profit is still good. And for me, like one big reason why I am doing this journaling is also to look at this simulation, right? So I still want to confirm. So I know that I can grow a 200K account to about 600K to 700K in about a year, right? So that's what I still want to see here, a gain of between 500 to 600K, right? That's what I want. And I know in like 2 years, because we saw that, and now that we're taking the pre-market rejection scalps, the number of trades taken each month might increase. But when we did the calculations last week, we saw that I take on average about 50 rejection scalp trades a month. So it's going to take me about 10 months to get to 500 trades, and about I'll call it a year, or about 2 years to get to 1,000 trades, right? So I know in 2 years that I can grow my account from 200K to about 1.1 million, 1.2 million, right? You can see, so long as my growth curve or my simulation remains above, what this is telling me is that if I keep trading literally how I'm trading right now, same entries, everything, that I have the potential of growing my account to, in 2 years, to over $1 million. Now, as much as that may not happen, because sometimes, I'm pretty sure some markets I'll have a losing streak, whatever. Some months I may have red months, hopefully not, but let's assume that. Even growing the account from 200K to 300K in a span of 2 years, even though it takes me 2 years, which ideally it would take me maybe 6 months, but let's even assume 2 years. Making 100K in 2 years, bro, like that is good, because the average salary is what in the US is, I think, 80K or something like that. So making that and still maybe having other sources of income is pretty heavy. So, and that's even on the downside, but let's assume you 2x at 200K account. So this can be, this right here, this gain max right here, this can be your payouts, or it can be a live account, right? But the idea is that if you get this amount of payouts, even, let's even stop thinking about big numbers. Let's even stop thinking about millions, right? Let's think about in 2 years, you have 100K worth of capital. And now you start trading that account and now 2xing. So 100K in a year, we can, we already saw that with these strategies, you can 3x your capital in a year, and then you can 6x it in 2 years, right? So if you start 100K in a year, in the span of that year, you have the potential to make 300K, but even call it 200K. The next years, in 2 years, you double that, 400K. So it's like the power of compound interest and the power of just finding that one strategy that works, and you just stick to it. It's like the amount of hours I've spent back testing, coding all of this, and also executing live, live with you guys. It's like it's a lot, but it literally works because all of these trades, especially like these trades for this account, most of these trades we took during the live session, right? Because the only day we didn't have a live session last week was Monday, which is when I took a loss, and Friday, which is when I took this win. But other than that, between Tuesday and Thursday, most of these trades I took on the live session. Maybe one or two trades I took in the afternoon trading session, which is when I don't trade. I'm sorry, which is when we don't have a live session. But literally last week, most of these trades were taken on the live session. Here as well, today, all these three trades were taken on the live session. 2 losses, 1 win. So like if you just put, and it doesn't even have to be the rejection scalps. It's like just find a strategy that kind of, that not kind of wins, that wins enough and has a steady growth curve. You really don't want a strategy that, is in and out of break even. That's why I stopped trading the rejection scalps on gold. And eventually, if I do find some of, like right now, I do know the SAR rejection scalp is on point, the EMA rejection, like if we go to the statistics here, and we see performance by asset, I'm sorry, performance by setup, the EMA rejection scalp is amazing, right? In 1 week, it gave me $10,000, right? For a 1:2, 5 winners, 5 losers. The SCR rejection scalp gave me $7,000, 3 winners, 2 losers. The pre-market rejection scalp, which is what we took today, ended up in a loss. That was a tricky one because we also had that 4-hour EMA down there. So again, this is only the 10-point account. The 10-point account 2x's the 5-second change of character account, but 5-second change of structure entry, which is still very profitable, right? I think for that one, in 1 year, you expect to 2x your account or 1.5x your account. In 1 year, you expect to 1.5 or 2x your account. In 2 years, just waiting for that confirmation on the 5-second, you normally expect to 3x your account. So the idea for me here is that's why I separated I have two main accounts. I have these two main accounts here. So on one account, this one I'm copying to some other accounts of mine, and this one I'm copying to some other accounts of mine. So the essence is that, I kind of double dip because I'm kind of trading one strategy with two separate entries, right? I have the 10-point entry and then I have the 5-second change of character. So it's kind of like I'm eating on both, on both sides. So eventually it's like if I'm 6xing one account and I'm 2xing or I'm 3xing the other account in 2 years, eventually combined, I'll be 9xing, or even if you want to go, a few steps down, is like 5xing an account in 2 years. So that's pretty huge. But anyway, so that's another reason why I normally even show you guys my journals, just to show you. And again, like I love these journals. And I told you guys and I'm not even affiliated with them. So anyway, it's Edgewonk, and it's only $169 a year. So before using these journals, like sometimes you won't even know what strategy works for you. But the beauty about a journal is like you can see what strategy is working for you, and then you can kind of remove or stop focusing on the ones that are not working. And that's like literally my trading improved so much over the last year because I had this journal. And I wish I had it when I first started trading, but it's better to start using it now instead of waiting for whenever. But so for right now, what time is it? So it's 10:30. I have to drop off in maybe about 15 minutes. We kind of have low liquidity in the market, and technically also at 11 a.m. That's when I stop trading the morning session. So we have low liquidity in the market. I literally don't see anything here to trade. I want to add the pre-market high and low setup here, but I really don't want to crowd the charts. That's the only issue. I want it in a way that my charts are not crowded and I can still see everything. This is too much to look at. Never mind. But sometimes we'll just keep it in its own chart or in its own separate area right there. That's fine. All right. So the only the only trade, I don't think we're going to get I'm sorry, an SCR rejection scalp anytime. But if we do close above, because you can see I think we're still we're in a demand zone. So if we close above here, we can get a EMA rejection scalp to go up. So that's the only way, I think that's the only trade I would look to take right now. But if we keep staying below these EMAs, then there really isn't anything to do. All right, so we'll just kind of wait for this. All right, so we have five minutes for this. If this closes, it's gonna happen so fast. If it does close above, so you see, and we have a nice, we have all this nice wicks to the bottom, right? Or from the bottom. And we're in a demand zone, so this is good. And we are also rejecting off of that 4-hour EMA, right? So you can see right there, which is what we traded earlier. So if this closes, the retest will happen so fast because you can see where the 15-minute EMA is. So now is the turn, especially for the 10 point, just making sure anybody who's entering the 10 point, just making sure. Let me think this through. Just making sure that everything is all set up nicely, right? So the 10 point would be at about 42,730. So remember, the EMA is always moving. So, but it would be at about 42,720, but we'll get more confirmation as this candle nears its close. But this will happen so fast. If it does retest, it will happen so fast. And there's still the 5-second confirmation entry, right? Which is what we are using to record our official trade. So if you miss the 10 point, that's fine. But the 10 point, you definitely have to be so fast. I'll create an alert once that's done. All right, 3 minutes. 28, 29, 29, 19.3. So this is about, should still be there. All right, 2 minutes. Again, this is gonna happen so fast. I can tell. If price just doesn't shoot up from here, the retest will happen so fast. So you have to. Oh wait, yeah, it's even good. I saw this. Ah, shoot. My stop loss trailing parameters are all off. I don't even have time to do this. No, no, no. Let's see if I can do this quick enough. Okay, I think I'm good. Uh, two. mm, mm, Okay. Think I'm good. Um, what are we doing again? Okay, EMA. 732. So 734, 724.1. So this will be the 10-point entry right here, 724.1. That will be the 10-point entry. Okay. So you can see here, we have that indicator change from red to green, signifying a closure above the 15-minute EMA. We have that X to show us that price hasn't retested the 15-minute EMA. So we need price to come back. So 36.4. So this is going to keep moving, right? 26.4 because the EMA is a lagging indicator, right? So price will keep coming back. I'm sorry, moving. So as price moves up, the EMA will equally move up with price. Um, so this we just need this. Okay. And let's make sure. Okay, so we're in a demand zone. Perfect, because we just came back from a demand zone. That's good. We have this strong bullish. And you can see this kind of lines up with this, what people call the fair value gap, right? So price might come to close the gap at this candle that's back here, which kind of lines up with our entry, right? So this is pretty good too. Just make sure my parameters are good. Okay, so there we go. So now we go to so we already at the 15-minute TMA. We don't want a crossover buy forming here. If a crossover buy forms before getting to our alert, we go ahead and forget that, right? Because we want price to come to us first before doing what it's doing right now. So if we push back up and form a crossover buy, unfortunately, that will be it for this trade. We are not going to take it. So we don't want to see a rejection before, and it looks like we'll get that crossover buy here. Yeah. So this candle will give you, well, let's see if this candle closes. Yeah, so unfortunately, no entry because you can see we've already formed, would have been a nice trade too, right? We already formed a crossover buy. So price came almost to our entry here at 726, but unfortunately, there is nothing there. So it is what it is. But you can see we formed that rejection. Unfortunately, we did not get filled in by price. It's just one of those times. It happens. It does happen. But you can see the idea. The idea was good. And you can see we closed that fair value gap, right? That's what people call it. Yeah, we literally closed that fair value gap and then we reversed back to the upside as well. So this was a very solid trade, but unfortunately, we did not get our 10-point marker. Yeah, so right now, I really don't see anything else because I think we're just going to stick in consolidation here. And because we are in a bunch of order blocks, right? We are in this weekly bullish high and all. So we might just stick to those order blocks. But I think this pattern is still going to repeat again, right? Why? Ask yourself, what do the wicks tell you? The wicks tell you a lot of stories, right? Tells you that there's a lot of buying pressure here. Where did that buying pressure come from? We already know we had a pre-market low. We already know that we had a pre-market low here. We already know that we had a 4-hour EMA one there. So price is likely headed to the upside. Yeah, so I think this will be it for the live session for the morning. Since it's already almost 11, I can hang around to see what we'll get. But right now, literally, there's no other trade we can get here because by the time, even though this 15-minute candle closes below the 15-minute EMA again, keep in mind that it will be at the 11 a.m. time, which is my cutoff for trading the morning session. So I wouldn't, even though it would validate, because if it does close below the 15-minute EMA, it wouldn't be a valid sell, right? Because we already know that we already know we're in a demand zone. And also we know that we have a bullish order block. So even though it was a valid setup, which it's not going to be, we wouldn't take that sell because we know we have this bullish order blocks that would be between our stop loss and take profit. And right, we would be kind of looking to sell, but anyway, nothing lines up for a sell. And on the other hand, I don't think even though so nothing for the EMA entry, nothing for nothing for the EMA entry. Of course, nothing for the pre-market high and low. Maybe if price gets to the pre-market high and gets to the pre-market high during my afternoon trading time, which is between 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., I will be kind of looking to take a scalp off of there. But, price is pretty far away from that area. Um, if price gets there before, so I only take rejection scalps between those hours. If you guys want, you can take the rejection scalp. You don't have to trade the same hours as I do. You can find hours that work for you. But for me, these are just the hours that work for me. And now, of course, this thing kind of decides to come back down. Um, yeah. So, yeah. And for the SAR rejection levels, I don't see any. So the rejection levels kind of form when price is in an uptrend or downtrend. If price is in a consolidation, unless you get a big spike either to the upside or to the downside, you normally do not get you normally do not get a an SAR rejection level. So I don't see an SAR levels rejection that would show up here. So just because of that, and given it's 10:52, we'll call it a day. We missed a nice trade here. Price, I think we were waiting for price at 724, somewhere here, I guess. But unfortunately, we got that pushed to the upside, and there's nothing really we can do here. So other than that, I will see you guys. Let's see this week if we'll have live sessions. I think we'll have live sessions. Yeah. So far we should be able to have a live session each day of this week. So that's good. So I'll see you guys tomorrow unless something comes up. I'm still considering if I want to be live streaming the afternoon sessions, but we'll see maybe at some point. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good